welcome to Jacob's Quest, and last night we got our very first episode of Season 2 of House of the Dragon, and, everyone's been really excited about this one. Of course, I really loved Season 1. It felt like Game of Thrones is actually back, when that kind of seemed impossible for the franchise to kind of climb back from the reaction of the final season of the, of course, the original show. And, I will say this. I kind of forgot how many smaller plot points were going on in season 1. I remember the major beats. I remember like the gist of what happened. However, I had forgotten so many little plot points, and I meant to do a rewatch, and it never ended up happening. I tried to do like a YouTube recap to like, okay, wait, who was that person? Who was that side character? I kind of forgot about that person. And so yeah, just excuse me if I don't remember all the characters' names. It's gonna take me a minute to get back into this, and like, I gotta like, okay, what was happening? Who was the guy with the weird foot, and then he had like the foot fetish? I don't remember his name exactly. Like I remember like the guy, but anyways, let's just go into this first episode. Okay, so basically what we have here is, I guess you would say, the first real, like, I don't know if you want to call this the first step of war, or you want to say what happened in the very last episode of season 1, the first like act of war. But in any case, this is definitely the first act of revenge, and it's just gonna basically just domino effect or snowball effect from here. It's just gonna get larger and more violent and more crazy, and this side did this, so that side's gonna do that, and back and forth and back and forth, and that's basically what the show's gonna be from this point on. So of course, Rhaenyra had 2 sons that were sent out to go make sure different houses were still loyal to her side, because they had all like, kind of vowed to be loyal to her. And obviously we had the big conflict of last season where Queen Alicent, I have like the cast list set up because I'm like, who names Alicent, of course, had gotten her son Aegon to be king, and they had that whole basically like, did you usurp the throne? Well, she's going to Dragonstone, and so on and so forth. And then of course one of her kids gets killed by Eye Patch Man. What was his name? I cannot remember. The one with the eye patch, the son with the eye patch. Anyways, so his dragon ends up eating the other dragon, and this is basically the big explosion step now, because we already were like about to kind of go to war, because hey, who's actually the rightful king here? And that's like the whole thing where the king had died, and he was kind of speaking in riddles at the end there, and Alicent took it one way, or did she do it on purpose? Because those high towers kind of always vying for power, very sneaky. Her and her dad Otto there. And basically what we have in this episode is our big revenge thing, where Rhaenyra first, it's not that she doesn't accept it, but she does have to, she has to go see the body. She has to see some kind of remains. That way, it's like a way of letting go of any kind of false hope that somehow he might still be alive. She finds a dragon wing in his clothes, and it's like, okay, she breaks down, and like, okay, he is gone. There's no mystery here. He is gone. That dragon got him. And so from here on out, we have Daemon, he's ready to go to war right now. And Alicent comes back saying like, is it Aemond? It might be Aemond. I think that's his name. The eye patch guy. I want his head, right? And so Daemon basically sets off this plot, which is probably the most shocking event in the entire, Fire and Blood book that this is all based on. They called it Blood and Cheese. That's like the big event that all the book readers were talking about. Now, of course, I had heard about this. Many people had heard about this before it was going to happen, and I didn't think it was going to happen so soon in the season. I thought we were going to spend like maybe 2 or 3 episodes before we really get to the event. Like maybe they're going to slowly hint at it and build up to it. And we had seen rats crawling around the Red Keep and all that. But yeah, we just get to it right away. And I've seen some people kind of disappointed by the way that they depict it. It wasn't as, obviously it's still really messed up what happens here. But it wasn't as as severe, as cruel as the way it was said to have happened in the book, and some people were kind of disappointed by that. But to be honest with you, it was still like it's one of those things where, like, is this too far even for Game of Thrones? You know, like, how much can we show? What kind of sounds can we even make here? Obviously we're not going to show this happening to a child on screen, you know, because, like, there is a limit somewhere. Even for Game of Thrones, there's got to be a limit, right? So I was fine with the way that they depicted this. It was kind of strange for the mom, I don't remember her character's name, she wasn't screaming or doing anything. She kind of just, in a panic, she grabbed the other kid and just walked out the door and tried to, like, rush away. But, you know, she's not all there. Like, they really, you know, emphasize that her character, whether she's seeing the future or whatever's going on with her, she's definitely not all there. So, like, her having a strange reaction to this moment was, yeah, I guess it wouldn't make sense for her to be normal. She's not a normal person, it seems like. Let's see, what else? Oh, we also got our first hint of the Starks in the north. You know, like, we saw what's his name, great-great-grandfather here, however many greats are gonna be there. But yeah, basically the new Lord of Winterfell, they got reaffirmed to be, like, loyal to Rhaenyra. He promised to send 2,000, you know, what they call them, old beards, long beards, gray beards, whatever. Basically older guys who had been at war before, agreed to send them to go help Rhaenyra. And I don't know how much the Starks are actually going to come into play here, because the show so far has been very Dragonstone and King's Landing focused. It's all way down there in the south. So I don't know how much Winterfell, way up there, there might not be as much of a story to really tell there, but it was cool to just be reminded of, like, hey, this is all still happening here. It's all, don't forget that exists, you know, like, it's all still on the map. And basically, yeah, we're just seeing different people kind of plotting. We see Alicent and Otto kind of talking to each other about how, like, oh, we're gonna, you know, once Aegon gets tired of being king, we're gonna actually, like, really take power. We're gonna have a true victory then. So it's kind of just showing that, like, this has all really been like a Hightower plot. You know, Otto basically sent his daughter to go marry the king, that way she can become the queen and have all these kids, and, well, you know, her kids are now, you know, obviously one of them's the king now, and this is all just, I guess, for power, I suppose. I don't know what, if there was any ever further plot than that. Like, Otto Hightower just wanted power, I guess. So I am curious to see if they're ever gonna, like, kind of delve into that. Like, what did the Hightowers actually want here? Like, how long has this been the plan, or was Alicent at any time not with her dad's plan? You know, because obviously they're kind of having disagreements, but this seems to be like a Hightower plot the whole time. You know, the Greens, that's why they're the Greens, because Hightower, right? And also, let's talk about Aegon for a second. So this is not a character that I really cared about in season 1. I mean, he was only played by an adult actor for the last handful of episodes in that season. And he was basically just a drunkard, like, kind of wimpy character, and he was kind of forced to be king. Like, they literally had to go find him and drag him out and, like, no, you're king, take the sword, you know. And it was kind of interesting that they showed, like, the first time he's talking to people, he seems to actually want to do good by the small people. Like, and Otto has to try and talk him out of doing things for, like, hey, the dragons need food, we need those sheep, you know, like, you can't just give everyone everything they want. But it was interesting that they're trying to, you know, at least at first here, he seems to kind of be an okay guy, which is interesting, because it's definitely not what I expected. You know, and I guess we're so used to Joffreys and you know, Baratheons and all that, like, but, like, oh, he's not evil or cruel at all. Like, he's legitimately like, oh yeah, we'll give you your sheep back, why not, you know. So I was like, huh. And then the Smiths, he's like, yeah, we'll pay you, right, why not. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna, like, stick, especially after this episode. Like, he might become, like, the cruel evil guy, and maybe that was just kind of to show the audience of, like, oh hey, had this gone some other way, he might not have been a bad king at all. Like he might have been one of the few good ones, but you know, after what happened now, this might send him over the edge. Yeah, you know, he might like he's gonna declare war, and he doesn't care about anything now but vengeance, and that's just what we're dealing with now, maybe. So very interesting to see that part. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we have, you know, we have the questions of like, what did Daemon actually plan for this? Because he set up the whole blood and cheese thing. He sent them in there to like, you know, hey, go get it's Aemond, right? I'm pretty sure it's Aemond, eye patch guy. Go get his head, bring it to me. And they have Cheese ask him like, well, what if we can't find him? And then they cut away from that scene, so we never hear Daemon's reply. But it is kind of like, did he tell them to do that? Did he know? Did he say like, hey, then just cut off whatever son you can find? Or like, what did he say? You know, because like, I don't know, I'm gonna be really paying attention to Daemon's reaction next episode to finding out what happened here, because that's gonna really tell me like, did he intend for this at all? Because obviously that wasn't the real target, you know, this small child, but it's what happened, and we never hear what Daemon said to them when they ask, what if we can't find him? So like, I don't know, I'm very curious how that's gonna go, you know, because is we know Daemon's not a good guy, but now I'm like, how evil is he? Would he really have said, just kill whatever prince you find, even if it's like a small child? Like, no, there's no way he would have said that, right? Maybe. I don't know. We're gonna find out, I guess. But yeah, just obviously shocking event, revenge story. I do agree with some people that maybe it could have, you know, they could have done something more with like the reaction of the mom when it's happening, because she doesn't scream or panic that much, you know, like, and so it was kind of strange, but she's a strange person, so I guess I get it, right? But in any case, yeah, we're back. I don't think this was like the strongest, you know, season opening of any Game of Thrones thing ever. You know, it was kind of like, okay, really shocking event. You kind of just did it immediately. I'm curious what you do after this, because, you know, we have, what, 10 episodes, right? So, I don't know. But in any case, you know, we're back. I'm really excited that we're back. War is here. And I'm just, I'm just excited to see where this goes. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about House of the Dragon and the whole blood and cheese thing. Were you disappointed? Was it not as extreme as your imagination had made it out to be? Or were you perfectly fine with like kind of how they did it? Because, you know, obviously they're not going to show everything like they describe it in the books. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone wants to see that anyways. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with them doing what they did. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Bye.